Hello everyone, Swedish Dabber here. I decided to do a review about Solo, a Star Wars story. It was actually requested someone about if I can do this review since I made about Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. So, well, I thought maybe I could do it. And when I first heard about this movie, I thought, okay, when will it take apart? I asked exactly when this information came out. There was not much details about the movie itself, except when it was taken apart when Han Solo was young, many years before he became member of the Rebel Alliance. I know that many has already seen this movie, but if anyone has even seen this movie, rest assured this movie won't have any spoilers. But I might talk about some events in the movie, but I won't reveal any much details about it. When I first saw this movie, the trailer from it, to see Chewbacca, awesome, just awesome. And then to see Lando Calrissian back in the movies. Since the last time we saw him was actually Return of the Jedi. Nothing happened to him in the movies since then. This actually also the first time how we've seen how Han Solo is winning the Millennium Falcon from Lando. This movie takes place in the new current Star Wars timeline in the canon. In the Legends stories timeline, Han Solo is orphaned like in this new one. But in the Legends, he is orphaned. He has no idea who he is, what happens to his parents, or he belongs to an old ancient family of Corellia, the Solo family. I can even say if this movie was going to be that great. Well, I never saw the movie at the movie theaters at the cinema, only online. But this movie, well, I saw another video about person who made a reference to about this new movie. A few of those objects was actually has been a reference to the Legends materials, like a piece of a table one of those crime lords has is actually from Exar Kun's temple on Yavin 4. And even some artifacts from the Rakata, which is from the legend stories in from the time before the Galactic Republic was even formed. But from this part, I'm just happy that they managed to bring back some Legends materials, even though that timeline is considered non-canon. But this movie was actually bringing back some more happy memories. Like, we had never seen Corellia itself in the movies, only been mentioned. But this is the first time we see it. And it appears that the Galactic Empire has taken control over it by using it as this famous shipyard in the orbit. I can do the same from this. This movie was more than I not expect, except from the trailers I saw. Well, it was more beyond that I have an estimate of myself. Even trailers can't reveal so much details about the movie itself, but I thought that this movie could be more greater than unexpected, but still it is good. But not only to see many new alien creatures in the Star Wars new canon signs. I mean, to see more different aliens in the new series, it is something that we haven't even expected from. Well, actually, we can expect more aliens in the upcoming series of the Boba Fett story within next year and some other Star Wars movies. I don't even expect to see so many various of types of aliens. Most of are unbelievable, very much alien, but still in humanoid form. But most of all of this, there were so many types of aliens. Some of them could speak the standard galactic basic, but some other had their own language. I thought maybe that could see more aliens in the movie. Well, it is more than I did not expect to see. I thought maybe a few more new aliens, but so many, very unbelievable. And I know that many are still waiting for to see the next Boba Fett Star Wars story to be out on next year, and Star Wars Episode 9 with the next year, the same year, and the next Star Wars trilogy that will be released. I think it was around 2020, and some 3 years and on. But then it will be 10 years of new Star Wars movies, and I just wonder, will they bring more of the Legends materials in the next Star Wars movies? And I am curious, what will happen in the next new trilogy? I am so pumped of this information about this. And what I think about Solo's A Star Wars Story, well, so far I think it is a very much good story, but otherwise I'm not so sure. It was not exactly what I had expected from it. I thought maybe a little more details about his past life in the canon part, since we have more information about his Legends timeline. But in canon, I thought maybe we could expect a little bit more. And since this movie takes part in 10 BBY, that means 10 years before he even joined the Rebel Alliance. And about Solo's skills as a pilot is not overused. He is a very much skilled pilot. I mean, even on Corellia, he proved to be a great pilot. Even he not can pilot a ship on the ground, but still, his skills as a pilot is something that you shouldn't be making jokes about. Seriously. There are also one particular type of starship in this new movie that hasn't been seen before. It isn't unlikely if this type of starfighter or TIE fighter, which is a new type, if it's produced more about since after. It is almost like an X-wing, but it has some sort of a computer like an astromech and like R2, but there is no droid, but this is some computer program that can navigate. It is more heavier designed than the regular TIE fighters are. But from most of that, I had no idea from this movie could be so detailed about more of Han Solo's life before he even joined the Rebel Alliance and before everything else. This is something that I could not expect from. No. This movie was more than I could even believe. Most part of this movie was more than I could even expect from. I mean, most of this story was even better than I expect. In this movie here, Han Solo is about 22 years old, and since he dies in 34 ABY, it is hurt to see that he died so young in the, well, not dying so young, but around his 60s. But Han Solo is one of my top favorite characters in Star Wars after Luke and Leia and Chewbacca. But otherwise from this, what can I say about this movie itself? Well, so much great details about it. A little bit more details about Han's life before he even joined the rebels and how he, since we know that he was one part of the criminal life. And here we can see more about it. Before he left Corellia and in outer space, later on, he goes along with the rebels. But I'm curious, has he ever thought about maybe join the rebels even before that? Well, if he ever had joined the rebels much earlier, like in 10 ABY or maybe like 5 BBY, like when the rest of the rebel cells across the galaxy, like in the Star Wars Rebels. If he had formed his own rebel alliance or rebel cell, I could see him as the leader part of that cell. But still, most part of this movie was not what I could expect from. It is more touching deep details about his life when he was young and how he became the most famous pilot of Corellia. Well, since Corellia has many great talented pilots, explorers, since in the early days of before even the Galactic Republic was even formed. But this movie, well, it's not what I could seen earlier from. The trailers had not much couldn't even say how much more details about this movie, except it is better than I could even imagine. It is more better than I had my eyes on it. It seems to be work good. Even this movie had this very much parts of it was very, I don't know exactly how to put it, but it was actually not bad. When I first heard about this movie, okay, I thought, alright, another background story, since the last one was Rogue One, Star Wars Story. That one was actually not that bad. Was since Legends and Canon has a different sides of how stories are going. In Legends, there were about several groups of rebels who stole different parts of the plans of Death Star. But in Rogue One, there were only one group who managed to steal these plans of the Death Star. But Han Solo's Star Wars story was not that bad. I I had to admit it was better than I expected. From only from the part from the trailers, there was not much information to go on from. But after seeing the movie itself, it is better than I can say it. I mean, it is better than I had ever could imagine about. Consider that information from canon in this movie present us at least more information. There was just one part in this movie that I thought was very much funny. I might say this is only a hint. It might be some spoilers, but when Han was playing this game with Lando Calrissian, when he was about to win, one of the other creatures there, he bit his nails or his claws, and they were flying around him. I mean, that was something I couldn't even understand. That was not nothing I could even compare to. For the rest from the rest of the movie was okay. Okay. I thought this movie could be better, but I was wrong. This movie itself was probably one of the best Star Wars movies since the original trilogy, and I have to say that those three closest one, not the Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, but from episode 1 to 3, well, not so good. But the size, the special effects in those movies were awesome, but itself, not so much. But I was requested about review about this movie from someone else, and I thought maybe, and I was going to do it earlier, but that was the time when my old microphone broke down. It stopped working. I tried and tried and tried over to make it work, but it failed. But since I have my new ones, well, that's another story. Well, if I had to give this movie a rating, what would I put it? I would put it a B plus, a B plus at the most. It has not that. Even though the movie itself was, well, not that good, but it was good enough at least. I think it was actually good. I might even perhaps watch it a few times more and then other times. But anyways, I would like to hear what you all think about this movie. If you have any opinions, what you think about this movie, if it could be better, or if they could bring back some other Legends characters, like say, I can not exactly you can figure out who, but still, I would like to hear what you think about this movie. And I even want to hear what you think about the Boba Fett story, which will appear next year. And as always, subscribe, leave a comment, and as always, this is Swedish Diablo, over and out.